Good Monday morning to all of you. This is Nana Bora, youth and parent coach from Athena Life Coaching. I'm back home after one of the shortest breaks ever. My daughter and I went to Bombay to attend a friend's Holi party. Holi is the festival of colors celebrated in many parts of India. And I posted like a 3-second video in the group where I was covered with color. It was loads of fun, lots of food, lots of friends, lots of dancing. And the short break has helped her and me a lot. We've come back revived, rejuvenated and rearing to go. Saying that, I have a mother who has inboxed me saying her teenage daughter is throwing tantrums. Yes, you think the twos had terrible tantrums. We forget about the teenage tantrums. And the mother shared with me that she's actually scared. She said, I and my husband are actually scared of our teenage daughter because she is throwing these tantrums. She shouts back at us and whatever we're trying to do is just not working. I'm just checking. Okay, so I hope I'm loud and clear to everyone, and this is a problem that I have noticed parents coming to me. So parents currently in my 4-week parent coaching program have the same problem but in a different manner. So on the one side, you have a teenager who is shouting, literally, she's not kicking, but kicking for attention is what I mean. And being defiant, rebellious, and saying, you guys don't love me, you guys don't understand me, you don't understand my needs, you don't understand what I want. And her husband and she, the mother and father are feeling that their daughter is holding them to ransom. She's threatening them and they really don't know how to handle her. That's one part of it. So that's one parent who's called me up really flustered, not knowing how to handle their teenage daughter. And the other is currently the set of parents I have in the 4-week parent coaching program. One of the parents, both the husband and wife, are really worried because their teenage son has withdrawn and is in his shell. So he talks to them, he's polite, he's loving and caring. But they are concerned because he has withdrawn himself and moved into his shell, not allowing the smooth flow of communication between him and his parents. So what happens? The parents are always second guessing what their child wants. So in both the manners where the daughter is shouting and screaming and the parents are feeling powerless and the parents are feeling confused and the parents are feeling helpless is one side of the story. The other side of the story are parents whose teenage son, who's wonderful, loving, polite and caring, has withdrawn and gone into his shell. So there are times when they want to chat with him. There are times when they want to communicate with him. And he communicates. But they know that he is not telling them everything there is to it. And he knows he has that impact. So do you understand, in both manners, the parents feel so flustered, so helpless, so disempowered. They really don't know how to handle their children. So what can we do in this situation? But before I get down to what you can do in this situation, for parents who are walking along the path where they might end up with children like that or family situations like that, it's important to realize what you are not doing correctly. So first I'd like to address those parents who might be doing some things in an incorrect manner that might eventually lead to one of these two situations. So in the first situation about the teenage daughter where she's throwing tantrums and making all these demands, and kicking up a fuss and saying, you don't understand me, you don't understand my wants, you don't understand what I wish for, and so on and so forth. These parents started off by giving their child everything she ever wanted. They did not ever teach her how to say, sorry, not teach her, but they did not learn how to say no. And why did they not learn how to say no? Because they could not deal with the consequences. Sorry, I'm typing side by side, making notes for my post. So because they could not deal with the consequences of saying no to their child when she was 4 or 5. And I'm going to give you all a third example. So in Bombay, I went to visit a very close family friend, and they have a 5-year-old daughter. And the grandparents are very proudly sharing with me how the granddaughter kicks up such a fuss. So their granddaughter, I know the grandparents very well, they're my parents' very good friends, they're family friends, I treat them like my own parents. And their 5-year-old granddaughter looked at the shoes of an aunt of hers and insisted that she wanted the same shoes. So the aunt gave her those shoes, but obviously they're not the same size. So she kicked up such a fuss that her father could not deal with the fuss, did not know how to create the boundaries and allow her to cry and throw a fuss. Took the little 5-year-old to all the shops possible and bought her the sandal, the shoe that was closest to the shoe of her aunt. So he took the aunt's shoe, plus he took the daughter, plus he visited shoe shops to get her a shoe that was as close to the aunt's shoe. So at the age of 5, not only that, when they traveled to Dubai on holiday, I went to visit them in their hotel room and I saw a plastic bag, a huge plastic bag, like a huge garbage bag. And there must have been 20 to 25 pairs of shoes for their 5-day trip of that little girl. And I said, why? They said, we never know when she might throw up a ruckus and start being really, really demanding and stubborn about the shoe that she wants to wear. So at the age of 5, and they didn't start at the age of 5, they started much earlier, at the age of 4, 3 or 2 or even 1, in fulfilling every wish of hers. What has she learned from this? She has learned, 1, the louder I get, the more impact I have. When I throw a tantrum, my father, my mother, my aunt, my uncle, my grandparents will literally pluck the stars out of the galaxy for me and put it on my feet. And therefore, throwing a tantrum, being loud for what I want, is the way I will get my demands met. Parents do not realize the difference between loving their child, pampering their child, and spoiling their child. Between loving their child, pampering their child, and spoiling their child. It's very important as parents to offer unconditional love to our child. It's important as parents to pamper your child with good things once in a while. But this is pure spoiling your child, and you are doing your child a disservice. Do you know who this 5-year-old is going to grow up to be? This 5-year-old is going to grow up to be this 18-year-old girl who's currently throwing tantrums in front of her parents, holding them to ransom and saying, this is what I want, this is how it works, this is the holiday I want to go to. Her demands have multiplied, her demands have become bigger as her age has become bigger. Her vocal cords have become bigger and louder. Her tantrums have become more explosive. Because I'm sorry to say this to you, but you have taught your 18-year-old over a long period of time on how to get her demands met. You started just like these parents at the age of 2 or 3 on getting this child's demands met. And at the age of 18, she is literally holding you to ransom because she knows the more tantrums she throws, the louder she gets, the easier it is for her to get her demands met. So she is wearing the wrong clothes outside the house. Her behavior is off the charts. Her demands, she's spending so much of money every day. And the parents are at the moment actually scared of their child. They are helpless, they are at a loss, and they're completely disempowered on how to handle their child. And I can tell you, as a coach who deals and works with both parents and the child to get the child back on track, and this mother wants me to coach her 18-year-old daughter, is going to be a lot of work over a much longer period of time and tough work for me to do as a coach to get this child. It's not possible, but the child has to be on board when it comes to improving herself, managing her emotions, and understanding what it is that is causing her to throw these tantrums. So this child is actually crying, begging for attention by her wrong behavior because it is something else she wants. But she herself does not know how to communicate that, how to process her emotions. So the two key things when it comes to the 5-year-old, the 4-year-old, or the 18-year-old who is throwing these teenage tantrums is the child themselves does not know how to process their emotions. The child has not learned the skills to listen to a no, and a no completely triggers them and makes them explosive. The child has not learned how to ask for something politely and to understand that there are many times they are going to ask their parents, their friends, their loved ones, the universe for things, and it's not going to happen because hearing a no is a normal part of growing up. We can't grow up with listening to a yes all the time. And when parents are not themselves equipped to say no, then how do you expect the child to know how to listen to that no or learn how to cope with it? And in the deeper part of it, the parents themselves don't know how to manage their emotions, and that is why they're feeling completely at a loss, they're feeling helpless, and they're feeling so disempowered. In the case of the teenage boy who has shut down communication with his parents, he has shared with me that he feels that when he tries to express himself, his parents jump in with advice or they cut him off, not listening to him completely, and therefore he has withdrawn. So in that case also the parents are feeling disempowered, clueless and helpless, and that is why my 4-week parent coaching program for parents teaches you in all the 3 cases, whether your child is 5 years old, 4 years old, 3 years old and is throwing tantrums and you really don't know how to handle them, or your 18-year-old daughter or son is throwing teenage tantrums and you are feeling helpless or frustrated, or even in the case of the teenage boy who's shutting down slowly his channels of communication and withdrawing into a shell, and you are left just guessing and feeling helpless, my 4-week parent coaching program helps you to be a calm, confident parent who knows how to establish clear boundaries, managing your own emotions, because when you learn to manage your own emotions, your children will see that they can no longer wrap you around their little finger, that they can no longer make you feel powerless, make you feel disempowered. Because through the 4-week parent coaching program, I help you to build the requisite skills for you to know how to establish boundaries, for you to know which battles to fight, what is important, what is not. So for you right now, if your teenager is making you feel disempowered or make you feel helpless or frustrated, especially in the case of children who are throwing tantrums and demanding more than you can possibly give for them. Flash back to all the times that you have given in to the unreasonable demands of your child, and understand now is as good a time to say no. But when you say no, you also have to be ready to accept your child's anger, your child's frustration, your child's bullying, and in many cases, your child's abuses, and your child's anger, and your child's frustration, and your child's lashing at you. You have to build yourself to such a strength to expect that that is going to be the repercussions of you saying no. So if it's a 5-year-old, their lashing is going to be lesser timed. Their emotional outburst is going to be smaller, less loud as that of an 18-year-old. So parents of 5-year-olds and younger, please teach your child that no is a normal part of growing up. It's better to train them. If your child wanted to touch a hot iron, would you allow your child to do that? No, right? If your child wanted to take a knife and play with it when they were 3 years old with the risk of stabbing themselves or their own eye, would you say yes to them? You wouldn't. Then, if your child is throwing a tantrum for the same shoe that somebody else owns, and you think that you will go to every shop to fulfill your child's wishes, you are teaching your child that playing with a knife is absolutely okay with you. So when they demand for a knife, you won't know how to say no, and then you will not be able to handle their tantrum then. But I know and I trust that you're not going to hand that knife to your child, correct? Or you're not going to allow your child to feel what a hot iron feels like. So in the same manner, teach your children that say listening to a no is a normal part, and it is only when you build up that skill, that patience, that tolerance within them, will they go back to look for that skill when they hear a no in school from their teacher or their friends. So they no longer feel lost when their friend in school doesn't share something with them, because they are so used to hearing a yes from you that when they go into school and their friend says, no, you can't have this toy, your child does not feel traumatized. So teach them that no is a normal part of growing up. The second thing is to understand what is the motivation behind that sandal. What is the motivation behind wearing those inappropriate clothes? What is the motivation behind spending money unnecessarily? Try and go to the root cause of where that demand, that stubbornness, that shouting and screaming match is coming from within your child. Because when you go to the root cause, it just might be that your child wants your love, your child wants your attention. That's all that might be in that moment. And they realize that if they throw a tantrum for the shoe, they will get your attention. They will get you to go to the shops with them. But what they're actually craving for could be just purely your attention and nothing else. So firstly, learn yourself how to say no to your child. Secondly, be prepared for that tantrum, because you want your child to understand that no is a part of growing up. The third point being that your child also has to understand that there is something behind their demand, and you have to understand what that thing is. What is the root cause behind their demand? Is it purely your attention that your child is craving? A lot of parents ask me, how do we develop self-confidence in our child? And I always say, you can develop self-confidence in your child by making your child feel seen and heard. It is directly proportionate to how much your child feels seen and heard. So ensure that your child feels that when they are with you, and don't make them go down the route of demands, tantrums for them to get your attention, but in a negative manner. Teach them to get your attention in a positive manner. So when they're younger, it is up to you to move away from the scene of crime. Allow them to throw the tantrum, however embarrassing it might be in the grocery store, because that tantrum will be once, twice, or thrice. And when they realize that you are not caving into that tantrum, your 5-year-old will know that there is just no point, because you're not giving them attention. And when they're in a calmer phase, you can sit with them, cuddle them, love them, and reassure them that you are there for them no matter what, and that when they want something, there are better ways to communicate with you. And do a role play and ask them if they really wanted that toy or that doll or that car or whatever else they were demanding in the shop. Instead of throwing a tantrum, they could ask for it next time. And then positively reward your child when they practice that positive behavior of asking, and then allow them to buy the car, or then buy that car or that doll for them, to teach them that that is a better way of asking. Because when you ask mama or papa in that manner, we are more than happy to buy it for you. But when you throw a tantrum, that's a no-go. Because when you cut the ties off to bad behavior, your child knows that when they behave well, they will be rewarded, versus when they behave badly, they will not get what they want. Because that will stop your 18-year-old then from redoing that bad behavior. And when it comes to 18-year-olds, it's important for you to sit down with them and also tell them that you would much rather they ask for something in a polite manner. You would also want to get to the root cause. And for an 18-year-old to have a behavior like that, I think it's so important for you to get professional help, because honestly, that behavior is so ingrained in them that you having a normal conversation might not get the result that you wish. But I wish you all the best, and I hope you can try what I've mentioned with the 5-year-old, even with your 18-year-old, and see how it works for your child. See how it works when you say no. See and try to get to the root cause of why your child is making that demand. What is it within them that is causing them to spend that excess money? What is it within them that is causing them to throw that kind of a tantrum? Are they still wanting? Don't underestimate and think that your teenager has become an adult and doesn't want your attention. Your teenager still wants your attention, still wants your unconditional love, still wants you, because there are many emotions that they don't know how to manage. So your 18-year-old might really be struggling with their own emotions, their own stuff in school or with their friends, and they need your love and they need your support. And sometimes they have not developed problem-solving strategies, and that is why it comes out in these outbursts. So try and look beyond their behavior to what it is they're truly trying to express. And through my 4-week parent coaching program, that is what I explain to parents, is the behavior is just a window into what they truly want, and what are the strategies you need to follow to be able to get through that mask of bad behavior to what it is they truly want. Because when you understand their wants, you no longer will focus on their behavior, but you will sidestep the behavior to what they want. And to do that, through my 4-week parent coaching program, I help parents become so calm, so confident, so empowered that they begin to have a much clearer picture of their own emotional landscape, their own trigger points, their own ways of communication, that then they realize that they can let go of all those barriers and be able to see what their child truly wants. So I hope this has helped you, especially the parents who are feeling helpless, frustrated, disempowered with their children's tantrums, whether they are 5-year-olds or 18-year-olds, and of parents whose children have withdrawn into their caves about opening up. I think the third example I will speak in more detail in another live of mine. Till then, please keep posting your questions below this, your comments, and tell me, how did this live help you. If you want to enroll for the 4-week parent coaching program, do put in the comments below so that I can send you details for short weeks to a better you, to better communication with your children, more calm and confidence, less overwhelm. Contact me 4 weeks, and if you have an 18-year-old or a 15-year-old who's throwing tantrums, who can't focus and concentrate or can't manage their emotions, I also help teenagers. So look forward to hearing from you. Put in the comments below or just inbox me for further details. Take care. Bye for now.